Now, let's move on to child sex abuse. Just a horrible crime, but our Australian Federal Police have made a couple of significant arrests in the last few days. One of them was a former Greens candidate arrested overnight. His name is Jonathan Doig, and he's been charged over offences spending over $120,000 allegedly for child sex abuse material. I'm joined from Brisbane by Assistant Commissioner Lesa Gale. Thanks for joining us, Assistant Commissioner. Tell us about this alleged crime, how you got onto it, and what you allege Jonathan Doig was up to.
Thank you very much, Chris. What I can say is that the AFP will allege that a 57-year-old Sydney man paid to view and direct pay-per-view live distance child sex abuse in the Philippines. The AFP are going to allege that over a period of 10 years, the alleged offender sent over $120,000 to approximately 98 people in the Philippines. Of those people, some were children and some were offenders who produce this live distance child sex abuse in the Philippines. The alleged offender appeared before the court and was charged with a number of offences relating to this activity using carriage services. He appeared in court today and is bailed to reappear in August.
He's bailed, dear oh dear, bailed in a court today, yes. He has been a political candidate in the past. He ran for the Greens against Scott Morrison in the seat of Cook at the last election. Just shocking allegations here. As if child sex abuse online or otherwise isn't repugnant enough, what you're suggesting is that he was viewing live abuse of children online that's happening in the Philippines, so that the crime against the children directly is happening overseas, yet people pay to watch it live from this country?
Yes, that's correct, Chris. What offenders or perpetrators of this really heinous and serious crime do is they actually can pay and direct live distance child sexual abuse to occur, and often in countries such as the Philippines. Well,
it's just unthinkable. Great work tracking this down. Just how difficult is it to intercept these sorts of offences, and what more could we be doing to prevent people getting involved in this sort of abhorrent behaviour?
Well, thank you, Chris. If I can just say, before I fully answer that question, I meant to say earlier, thank you so much for inviting me on your program here tonight.
A pleasure.
It provides me with an opportunity to appeal to your viewers. I know that often it's hard for parents to listen to stories and news about children being abused. And if I can just appeal to your viewers, Chris, to say, please don't walk away while we're talking about this issue. Please don't turn down the volume on your TV. My message to parents out there in Australia is, we need you to protect your children online. That's a really, really strong, powerful message, if I can just convey that in the first instance.
So everybody's vulnerable, Chris, even in Australia, and we've got to make sure that we're very, very careful with children and who they're exposed to online.
Absolutely, Chris. What I would say to you is that Australia's appetite for child abuse material is absolutely insatiable. For the perpetrators that enjoy watching and directing this live distance child sexual abuse, it's like a tsunami of reports. In the last 12 months, the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation received nearly 17,000 reports of child abuse material from Australian offenders. That's just horrendous. What we're seeing is that the nature of the abuse is getting more and more violent, and we're seeing that the victims, the children of this crime type, are getting younger and younger, and we're really, really concerned about it. And my message to parents is, please protect your children, be vigilant, know what your children are doing in the online world.
Assistant Commissioner, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck. It's such important work you're doing.
Thank you for your time, Chris. Thank you.
Assistant Commissioner Lesa Gale there. I mean, it's just it's hard to get your head around what sort of activities go on in this world, but really strong advice there for us to be vigilant about young people around us because of the threats that do lurk online.